Ooh, it's Mockingjay time. But first, look whose puffs came in the mail. Or is it this way? Is it this? Whichever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I got my puffs. Ordered it on Sunday. Came in on... When did it come? Whenever it came. But I got my puffs. And I also have some iced coffee. Yes. And because it was Labor Day when I reacted to Catching Fire, I had plans. So I didn't have enough time to really give my thoughts on Catching Fire, and I have thoughts. But what I'm low-key happy because you all gave such shout out to all of the people who commented. I adore all of you. The little nuggets of information you all give is so keep them coming, because my goodness, it helps flesh out so much. Like, I understand it in movie form, you can't get every detail in the way you can in the book. I'm not one of those people who like automatically shit on adaptations. Now there are some that deserve a nice good old dump on, but more often than not, I do give grace to adaptations because there's just certain things you can do in a book that it's hard to get done in like 2 hours. In the space of a 2-hour movie, you got to get to the meat and potatoes, but you also got to flesh out the characters, so you give as much detail as you can. And you know, it's just, you can have I love reading because there's just so much more little thoughts in the characters' heads that just makes the story even better. That's not to say I don't enjoy movies. I for sure enjoy movies, hence why I'm watching with all of you. But like I'm saying, I'm not too hard on adaptations that can't get everything done. As long as they keep the spirit of the thing, I'm good. Now, as for the comments, you all gave me such good details that I just wasn't aware of, and I'm kind of happy that I'm doing this recap now because I have all of your comments in my head. So I'm like, oh, like PETA being an amputee, he lost his leg at the end of the, like, that's such a big detail that I feel like could have maintained in the like going forward in the series. But yeah, it just seems like a missed opportunity for like representation to have that. But then again, PETA's not, I mean, nah, I'm not gonna get too far into that rabbit hole, but that makes me feel so bad for how I was reacting when they were running away from the fog. Oh my goodness, PETA was missing a leg. Well, he had a prosthetic, but still, I would imagine he'd only had that prosthetic for maybe like a year. So he's still getting adjusted to it, and then they throw him into the games. Like, PETA being an amputee, it really does add, I'm not gonna say it adds a layer to his character, who he is, but it does add to the trauma going forward that he has to grapple with. He's just like this little trauma baby. They all are. Everyone is. And yes, that includes Gale, because let's get something straight here. I don't hate Gale. I don't. I'm actually pretty sympathetic towards this character. Yeah, I'm not a Gale hater. I actually wish she wasn't a part of this ridiculous love triangle that it's a YA story, so I'm never gonna like be mad at something for including young adult entertainment. Like, I watched the Vampire Diaries growing up. I read the Twilight books. I actually have all my... Who has the original Twilight books? I have it from middle school. I got it from Borders. I was a Borders girl, screw Barnes and Noble, and I think the reason why I was a Borders girl is because it was just closer to my house. Well, they had a Barnes and Noble and then a Borders like maybe a mile away, like in between. I was about to dox myself. I was about to say what mall was right between Borders and Barnes and Noble, and they're both gone now. Where there used to be a Borders, it's a furniture store, and where there used to be Barnes and Noble, it's a DSW. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Bring back bookstores. But yes, growing up, I used to drag my mom every Sunday to Borders, and I used to like get all of the books. And I did get some inappropriate books. I actually have them stacked up on my bookshelf behind this setup, and some in my closet too, because I have so many. Anyways, I still have the original Twilight book from middle school, and I used to pass it around. My friends and I, we used to read it together. Well, not together, but like when we were done. And child, when I tell you, it is destroyed. The front cover's missing. Pieces of the book has fallen out. I did not keep good care of Twilight. Did I keep it now I'm thinking about it? Oh my god, maybe when I moved in I tossed it. Shit, I hope I kept it. Okay, back to the reaction. I just went on a whole tangent. I am so sorry. Excuse me. Excuse that. PETA. I was also told that PETA burned the bread purposefully. I thought he accidentally burned it. And then his mother got mad at him, and then he'd like, you know what, he sees Katniss and he gives her the bread. He is such a sweetheart. The fact that he burned the bread on purpose. Oh. He's a sweetheart. PETA ain't do nothing wrong to anybody. He had a moment, and then it's like he recognized that maybe he let his emotions take over, and he's like, you know what, Katniss? You don't have to apologize about anything. We went through hell, and I'm like, I just like the maturity that he had in that moment when he recognized that maybe he was a bit too harsh on her. And then he stepped back and he saw the big picture, and he's like, you know what? You don't have to apologize, but I do want us to be friends. Like, we're going through this Hunger Games again. Like, let's connect. Well, no, that was prior to them being selected for the Hunger Games again, but they were about to go on tour. So it's like, we better like make friends and try to do this and make this as amicably as possible. Now, the Capitol has PETA. They need to give him back. Now that I'm really thinking about it, can you imagine what President Snow can do now that he has PETA and she's clearly invested in him? Well, maybe... I was gonna say, he said prior to the games that Katniss was indifferent towards PETA, like she's like, he knows it's a fake love story. But I do wonder if watching them interact in the second Hunger Games, well, the 75th annual Hunger Games, if he changed his mind and sees Katniss developing feelings for him, like genuine feelings, like she's no longer indifferent, like this isn't a fake love story for his benefit, this is real for her. I wonder if he clocked that while watching her, like when he first hits the force field and then he damn near dies, the way that she like kind of, not, I'm gonna say she didn't willingly sacrifice Mags, but she did like pressure Finnick to carry PETA, like non-verbally pressured him to carry PETA with really no real guards towards Mags. Like, she's gonna die in this fog. I guess you kind of write Mags off because she's so old and you just don't see her making it to the end. So you kind of already mark her down as dead from the moment she volunteered in place of Annie. But I wonder if Snow just, and as well as that kiss and then her saying, I need you, just... I wonder if he clocks that this is real now. And now that it is, and he has PETA, like, I can only imagine what he can now force Katniss to do. He also has Joanna, and Joanna's a real one for cutting out that tracker. Anyways, that is it for PETA. Like, he a real one. I love him. I adore him. Him and Katniss, cuties. And the burned bread and the him being an amputee. Just kind of wish those little details got kept in, but you kind of give the movie grace because it is so well done. And it is, I think, I can't say without reading the books, but I do believe it keeps to the spirit of things. Now, Cena! They killed Cena! And the way they did it, like the psychological... Well, we don't really know if they killed Cena. We only saw him get beat up and dragged away. I honestly thought that somewhere during the games, they were gonna like dangle Cena in front of Katniss and really use him to throw her off even further, but they went with the Primrose and the Jabberjays. But pour one out for Cena because I adored him. I loved the genuine connection he had with her. Just this protector and believer from the jump. He didn't BS her. He didn't pretend that this was some kind of great honor. He was probably the real, I think Haymitch was pretty real with her, but Haymitch came from a very pessimistic, cynical kind of view, while Cena was genuine, but also rooting for her to make it out. Like, he didn't just write her off in a way that Haymitch did at the initial meeting. With that being said, we will miss you, Cena. I kind of hope he's not dead and then they like bring him back. Maybe he's still captured, but considering they killed Seneca, maybe they did kill Cena. Shit, I kind of hope he's alive and like pops back up, because the whole thing, if you don't see the body. But then again, this is a YA story, but we've seen some really gnarly imagery in this, so for me to just say this is a young adult story is like, nah. I'm still gonna hold true. If you don't see the death, they're still technically alive. Cena's alive, y'all. I'm gonna hold on hope for that one. Now, Katniss and Peeta's other protector, Haymitch. Haymitch is, I'm not gonna say he's my favorite. No, let me not lie. He is my favorite character. Yeah, Haymitch. I'm a Haymitch girl. I'm a Haymitch stan. It could just be Woody Harrelson, but you know what? I'm a Haymitch stan. Oh God, now I'm saying that. I hope Woody ain't creepy. Does Woody Harrelson have any creepy stuff about him? Jeez, I hope not. I hope he's not like some secret PDF. Anyways, let's hope he's not problematic. But Haymitch, there was this moment when Gale was being whipped, and then who came? It was, I think Peeta came last. It was Katniss who came to help him, then Haymitch, then Peeta. And so when Peeta runs in to step in front of Haymitch grabs Peeta and puts him behind him, just in case that, I don't know their names, peacekeepers, pulls the trigger. Peeta does not get hurt. And that's just like such a parent thing to do. Like, how many of you have ever gone driving with your parents, and when you were old enough to sit in the front seat, it doesn't, like my older sister does it too, but anytime they're driving, anytime they press on the brake, doesn't matter, it's not like a sharp brake, does not matter, they immediately put their hand over my midsection, like immediately. Like, there's just something so parental to that motion of putting your hand out, of putting someone behind you, like a protective parental figure is how I see Haymitch. And you understand that it's not that he grew to love them or like he was cynical or something. It was more so the fact that he's just so traumatized by everything he's been through, that it's like he goes through hell during his own Hunger Games. He was part of a quarter quell, I believe, that's what I read, and they doubled the amount of tribute, so he had to, like, I don't know how he won his games. No one told me that, and don't spoil that for me. I want to read that, but I do know someone said he won it in a very clever way that made the Capitol look foolish, a la Katniss, and the fear of God was sort of like put into him after that, like the way they treated him and sort of targeted him after the Capitol made him a bit like weary of the Capitol, hence why he was so on protecting Katniss after the way she won. Like, he had experience in that, and he makes her, well, not make her, but they go on that tour at the end of the first movie and they're doing that interview, and it's like, come off as innocuous as you possibly can, like just sell this as a love story and nothing more. He's speaking from experience. He knows that fear. He knows the lengths the Capitol is willing to go to quell any threat of rebellion. So Haymitch, I love him, y'all. I love him. I love how he's, I don't want to say growth, but it's a willingness to open himself up. And I guess that can be growth as well. But I feel like that part, that instinct was always there. It's just fear and trauma, and then on top of everything he went through in his Hunger Games and then the aftermath, now he has to be a mentor to little District 12 who never wins, really. And so he just has to watch all of these kids die. It's like he's like a little trauma muffin. It's like, no wonder you were down the bottle. Truth. Pour one out for Haymitch too. I don't drink, but I will drink some iced coffee to Haymitch. Now, Katniss as the Mockingjay. I feel for Katniss so much because she didn't intend, like, okay, none of this would have happened, in my opinion, if Prim doesn't get called. If the odds just weren't in Prim's favor and Prim gets called. And I think that's how this all starts. And it's just this, I don't want to say it's, you know, it is a sisterly, because you know how some people say like, oh, big sisters sort of take maternal roles to their younger siblings. I have an older sibling who is several years older than me, and I also have sisters who are decades older than me from my father's first marriage, and I am the youngest sibling. I do have nieces and nephews who are a few years younger than me, but I am the youngest sibling. And all of my eldest siblings, especially because my father passed away young, really doted on me. So I do think, and the age gap between myself and them, they were adults when I was still a child. And so there's just this protective nature of siblings that I don't feel it's, I don't feel like it's maternal. Like, I don't think Katniss is her maternal figure. She's just her big sister. And I can 1000% see my sister doing that if I were ever called. Now, granted, if her name was called, I'm volunteering in her place. Like, my sister ain't going in there, and my sister would feel the same way as well. So I feel like it's not a maternal bond, it's a sisterly bond. And she just immediately, it's instinctual. She doesn't have to think about it. Like, the way, I want to cry thinking about it. It's the way she moved in, like, it's like her body, it's like she had no conscious thought watching Prim walk. It's like her body just went on autopilot and followed her. It's like, oh god, I want to cry thinking about that. Okay, the movie hasn't even started and I'm already tearing up. Anyways, yes, Katniss just, it's everything that has put her on the path to become the Mockingjay. It wasn't intentional. She didn't ask for any of this, and it's like it's this burden that's now put on her. But at the same time, it's like, how can you deny it? Like, you can understand how you can deny it because people are getting hurt and no one deserves that kind of blood or responsibility on their hands. It's like you want them to choose it. You don't want them to be thrusted into this, but just who she is has become this, it's love. Really, to me, it's everything Katniss does is a combination of her personality and love. It's her love for her sister that pushes her to volunteer. And I think it's a natural humanity within her to show compassion towards Rue. Not to mention she also sees her little sister in Rue, and just to honor her and honor the district that she comes from. It's so genuine that the people can't help but gravitate towards that and believe and want to believe that she is a sign that things can change. And it's like, but at the same time, it's not fair to her to be in this position. She doesn't want it, because just not only does the consequences of it would terrify anyone if this goes wrong. I mean, they bombed District 12. Like, at the end, Gale's like, there is no District 12. Like, how do you not carry that inside of you and blame yourself for every step that goes wrong, every person that gets hurt? Like, she says it when that old man, she's like, what did I do? She didn't do anything. It's the system. It's these people, the elite, the ones in power that are doing this. But of course she's going to internalize it as her fault. Just, I feel for her, like, she's in a position where she can create such change. It's very much what Gale said. You've given them an opportunity and the people want to stand up and take it. Like, there's a desire to grasp that and fight, but she's now being put in a position where no one deserves to have to bear that kind of responsibility, but it's at the same time, it's like, how can you walk away from that? Like, how can you? And even as he says, like, of course, what sane person wouldn't want to walk away from that responsibility? What a beautiful conflict that I hope the movie does not let go. I hope the movie like holds on to that. Like, how can you say no to wanting to be this figure who has the possibility to change things, but at the same time, how can you say yes? Like, it's such a beautiful conflict. It's such a reflection of great writing too, and I hope the movie does not let that go. Like, continue to get into Katniss's head, as well as that internalized, like, what do you call these figures? I forgot the name of these people. I don't want Katniss to be a martyr. I hope she doesn't. That's not the ending of her story. Oh, that is going to be so tragic if she ends up dying at the end of this and she has to like become a martyr. Oh my god, I hope that doesn't happen to her. Anyways, I feel for Katniss's position tremendously. Now, Plutarch, someone who's like telling her that you are the Mockingjay. I kind of knew that there was something up with his character from the jump. You know, when he said, when he says that I volunteered like you did. I'm here because of you. And he says ambition. And then in that same scene further in, you see the blood come out of President Snow's mouth into like this flask. And it does make me wonder what's going on with him and how deep Plutarch, like how much does Plutarch know about President Snow and whatever's going on with him medically speaking. I don't know if Plutarch his desires are altruistic, because there are people who try to present themselves as mavericks of change, when in reality they're not looking to create change, they just want to be the next one up. And I feel that way because of the word ambition. If he didn't use the word ambition, but granted, he couldn't give himself up. Like he said, President Snow had eyes on him. I'm not on him, on Katniss, but then why take the risk of dancing with her and even speaking to her? Yeah, I do think just the word ambition makes me weary of that, because you do, like I said, you do have people who try to take advantage of situations like this just for the sake. They're not looking to create change, they're just looking to become the next President Snow, essentially. So I'm keeping my eye on Plutarch. Now,
Gale,
a very controversial character. I don't hate him. And I will say this: people have commented about his age being 18, like Katniss is 16, and there's like a 2-year gap between them or something. And I'm not saying that in regards to feelings or romance. I'm saying that in regards to maturity. I'm saying that in regards to trauma. There is no difference between 16 and 18. Let's get that straight. Nothing. I'm sorry. I've have nieces. You can't tell me the difference between her at 16 versus her at 18. You can't tell me a difference between anyone I know between 16 and 18, other than the fact that you can vote now. You can drive. Well, you can drive by yourself at 16. Like there's you college. Like you. I'm sorry. If I were to tell you do have 16-year-olds who are going to college. Like, I'm sorry. I don't see the difference in people pointing out she's 16, he's 18, and he's 18. That's still young. That is still so young. And I know I laugh. I made a joke that every time like Katniss and Peeta are shoveling. Oh my god, I keep hitting this thing. I am so sorry. Every time Katniss and Peeta are making out, you just cut to Gale shoveling coal angrily. That's part of his trauma. I make a joke out of it, but let's make something clear. That kind of exploitative hard labor that he's been doing most likely since he was maybe 15. I don't know how old he was when he started working in the coals, but he must have been younger than 18. You work so damn hard for so little. That takes a toll, and he's so young. I hate this love triangle because I feel like it shortens his character and it puts him in a position to be hated. I do find him someone who is sympathetic, to me at least. When you really stop and see Gale and everything he's gone through, he has siblings. He also seemingly watches out for Katniss's family. He risks his life every time he puts his name into that to make sure the people in his life and the ones he loves are fed and they don't have to starve to death while he's out there working every damn day. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, he can be, I mean, he's 18. He's being stupid with his emotions. He's being selfish, but I get it. Like, he's young. Most kids that age are self-centered. You're not really someone once said that everyone is born selfish. You are born that way. Everything you do, you cry, every move you make is about keeping you alive. Every move you make from birth is to the self. You are trying to survive. And life is about letting go of that self-centered thought and now inviting other thoughts in, other cares, and you slowly become less self-centered. I feel like Gale is at a point I feel like Gale is selfish in one way, and that is in his feelings toward Katniss. Other than that, I haven't seen anything selfish about the man. He works so hard and risks his life and puts his name more times into the bowl so people are fed. That's not a selfish person. For the most part, yes, in his feelings towards Katniss, he is one-sided. He is one-minded. He is possessive. And that is something I feel like he will grow out of. He's 18. He will learn. But I'm not writing Gale off as a bad person. I mean, yes, I feel like his pressure on Katniss can be annoying, but beyond that, he ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm sorry. I don't hate Gale. I find him to be incredibly sympathetic, and I hate this love triangle because I feel like it cheapens his character and it puts him in a position to be hated on rather than sympathized with. He is someone who's had to work hard, labor, and risk his life. We saw how Katniss's father died in those mines. And he goes down there in the same venue and risks his life, knowing that if he does die, who's going to take care of his family as well? But what else can he do? I'm sorry. I'm a Gale sympathizer. I don't hate him. I hate the love triangle they position him in, only because it's a young adult novel, and so Gale, the mindset of a young adult is someone who hasn't truly been in the workforce yet. And if you are part of the workforce and you still can't see what Gale has to do every damn day since he's can you imagine being that young? Actually, there are people in the world who have to start working that kind of hard labor very young for pennies. Dangerous work. You think that doesn't mess with a child's growing mind still developing? I'm sorry, I don't hate Gale. I don't at all. I find him incredibly sympathetic, and my heart goes out to that kind of character. And I do think he's been radicalized in a way against this system, because he's the first person we really see in the story trying to come up with this idea in his head of how can we fight back? How can it's like pollution. Like these massive corporations are really the root behind true, like the pollution in the world that really affects our planet on a tangible level, not a tangible level, but a massive level, a scope that cannot be turned away from, are doing nothing to really adjust their footprint in the world, the effects that they're having on the planet. But the responsibility is being put on the everyday person. Reduce your plastic, do this, do that. Yes, that is something that you can do, personal responsibility. However, that personal responsibility, that little tiny thing you can do to make a difference, means not a damn thing when you have people, these massive corporations and these conglomerates who own oil rigs, plastic rigs, fishing, all of that just, it's like you're doing your part and then they're just screwing it over even more. That's how I feel like Pete, and you're probably wondering how that ties into it. When Gale says, if everyone stops watching, what can, part of why the game's maintained is because we all tune in. But at the same time, it's like, you think that if people stop watching, that's going to change the system? It's not. It ain't changing. Like, just because you stop watching, it's not going to change when you have these institutions in place that will definitely maintain the status quo with or without your participation by viewership, in way of viewership, I should say. But the thought is in his mind, something actionable that we can do. And Gale's the first person that says it. So I like the character of Gale. I like Gale. I like seeing that someone who is not in this extreme Hunger Games thing, like, it doesn't take the Hunger Games, like, being put in there to want to change things. Like, just living everyday life is enough to want more. If you get what I'm saying, like being put in the Hunger Games and having to go through with it opens your eyes towards the faults, and not necessarily open your eyes. I'm pretty sure your eyes can be opened just by living in these lower districts, but the desire to do something, the actionable things going forward, I would imagine the Hunger Games would definitely put a fire under her ass in terms of actually, you know, not just thinking it, but doing something. Whereas Gale, I feel like, no, he hasn't gone through the Hunger Games, but to say he's not someone probably suffering with the pain, anger, it's all there for him. And it's all real for him. So yeah, I just went on like a 30-minute whatever to say I loved Catching Fire. Now let's get into Mockingjay. So grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it is you like to do when you watch your favorite reaction. Just get comfortable and let's get to.
Start simple. Start with what you know is true.
What?
My name is Katniss. My home is District 12.
Oh my god, what's going on with her?
Hunger Games. Peeta was left behind.
What the hell? Oh my god, do they have her captured?
I had a nightmare. Just 5 more minutes.
Oh.
You need to sleep.
Oh, she can't sleep without Peeta now. Oh, baby. She used to sleep with Peeta. Oh, Peeta. Somebody get Peeta for her. He's like her little... What is that in her hand? Oh, the pearl he gave her.
Finnick.
Oh. What's wrong with everyone?
I wanted to go back for Peeta and Joanna. They have Annie too.
Oh, they took the woman he loves?
I wish she was dead.
Oh. Oh, because they're probably torturing her?
They were all dead and we were too.
Oh. Okay, this is a dark start to this freaking movie. Oh my, and then the name pops up. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what this is. I see what this movie series is. It's just depression, despair, primrose, pain. Oh, I can't. Where's Haymitch? I know this actor. I don't know your name though. But I've seen you in things.
Box District 13's head of security.
District 13, I thought they said that was destroyed, so there's still like I guess there's still people from District 13 kicking all this time. For damn near a century, y'all still been around and no one's been able to find y'all? Okay then. Oh my god, no wonder they haven't been able to find you. Are they underground?
But we're military, so we learn to survive down here.
Oh, so...
Preparing, training. War never stopped for us.
Okay then. So we got a whole resistance. They bombed their own military? That's strange. Well, they say there's nothing more terrifying than a military that feels disenfranchised from their government. So how bad was Panem for them to like District 13 to rebel?
Is
their military.
girl on fire?
What an honor it is to meet you.
So they have their own president.
Right here at this table.
I apologize. I wish you had more time to recover, but unfortunately we don't have that luxury.
Did he lose the use of his leg? He wasn't. Beatus could walk before, right? Or is he just injured? I'm like, Beatus wasn't in a wheelchair.
We need The fire that the Mockingjay started.
You left him there.
She's like, I'm not hearing anything y'all are saying.
Everyone. It's about all of us.
I get it. This is bigger than PETA, but if you want her to...
Then you should have saved PETA.
Yeah, if you want her to sing your song and dance to the Mockingjay, y'all better get PETA.
She can't handle it. The games destroyed her.
We need. Let her see it. Let her go home.
Oh, District 12? See, I think they're not cluing this propaganda clips or whatever. They're not understanding Katniss and what drives her. If you want her to be your face of revolution, you need to understand what drives her. That is heartbreaking. What little you already had to your life, to your name, the things you knew, gone. Wasn't much, but it was theirs. I wonder how many people died in this. Damn. This is pure evil. Look at the skulls. The skeleton's just lining the path. Oh my god. I guess this is where the majority of them ran. Or maybe it was a building they were hiding in. Oh, so this Olive Prim's like, oh. Oh, isn't it the cat? Buttercup, I believe she called it in the first movie. Figures you live. Oh my goodness. I don't know why, but pictures of the dead always... Oh my goodness. Does that mean he was there? Oh, he knows she's still alive? Okay, time to leave.
Nigeria.
Please do not have this man murked. Okay.
Never let them see you bleed. Citizens.
I would imagine that Nick was supposed to symbolize her living as like a... Oh, it's a camera. Like, what is that?
Past weeks you have heard of sporadic violence following the actions of a few radicals in the Quarter Quell, the criminals that kneel before you. Use symbols for the purpose of sedition. Which is why all images of the Mockingjay are now forbidden. Those who ignore the warnings of history prepare to pay the ultimate price.
That's the tricky thing about trying to stamp out rebellion. Your very actions and the words you choose can actually fire them up even more, which is what I feel like is about to happen. Public executions and forbidding images and symbols of the Mockingjay, that's just gonna... Maybe they're making him do this. Maybe they're threatening someone, most likely Katniss.
I should have just run off with her, caught up trying to play allies. Not part of any rebel plan. We had no idea what was going on.
Huh, so he's not really shitting on her. Okay, so maybe they're not... Maybe he's trying to clear her name. Maybe he's not being threatened or anything.
I want everyone who's watching almost went extinct once before.
Oh, uh-oh.
That's it. For all of us.
Yikes. I can't tell if he believes it or not, because I there's not a piece of me that believes PETA believes in this system, but I don't know if... Damn, I can't tell. I don't know if we got enough of PETA's thoughts on whether or not he would actually be for revolution or rebellion. I don't think we got enough of PETA's thoughts on the system itself for me to know if this was genuine.
Be a ceasefire. Not after everything.
But PETA would know that they bombed District 12. So if he knows they bombed District 12, his home, he's not backing this. Nah. I think he's only saying this to try to protect Katniss and stay alive.
I don't know, maybe he was forced.
Exactly.
Maybe he made some kind of deal to protect you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've decided I'll be your Mockingjay.
She write it down.
PETA and the other tributes will be rescued at the earliest opportunity. If and when PETA is liberated, he will receive a full and unconditional pardon.
No.
Excuse you?
Our Mockingjay.
I hate this. I get the importance of it. I still hate it. It feels like it cheapens it in a way.
Go away.
Who's... Oh, is that Effie? I know her voice.
Is it visiting hours again?
Katniss has agreed to be the Mockingjay.
That poor thing.
Your girl on fire is burnt out. I'll find someone else to be the Mockingjay's escort.
No, she's not gonna let someone take over helping Katniss. That's like her baby at this point.
Katniss Everdeen has consented to be the face of our cause. First, we'll assess all opportunities for the extraction of the victors held hostage.
I kind of hate that she said in exchange. It's like putting it on Katniss. It's like she's trying to find a...
Katniss Everdeen...
Kind of hate that she's putting this on her. Feels like a punk move to make sure she's not culpable for anything of the people's anger.
Effie?
Oh, yes, hug!
What are you doing here? I'm a political refugee.
No, girl. Oh.
Senna.
Those are his designs.
He's dead, isn't he?
No, we ain't see it happen. If it didn't happen on screen, I'm not believing it. No, I'm not taking the on-screen confirmation.
I promised not to show you this until you decided to be the Mockingjay on your own.
Oh, Cena, what a heart of
I knew
gold.
this, as we all do. You believed in this
Oh my
revolution.
goodness, I'm still betting on you. I love that he said don't show
have
it until
They have the Mockingjay.
she makes the decision on her own.
Not much of a prep team here in 13, but we will make you.
I said this in the previous reaction, and I'm saying it again. I like that she has actual people around her who love her and support her, and they're not just simply using her as the face of the revolution, whatever. Ooh. Our dystopian queen.
You're gonna hold your flag in the air and deliver your line.
What? Oh, absolutely not. Yo,
People of Panem, we fight, we dare, we...
oh, that's awful.
Know the line.
I know it,
Okay,
I'm
all right.
sorry.
Let's do it
She's
again.
warming up.
Okay, all right.
This isn't gonna
Energy.
work. Everything she's done, it's been on instinct. She's still pissed after she slapped the hell out of him. Like, it was supposed to be PETA. You lied.
Indulge me for a moment, if you
How did Gale end up on the upper echelon of this?
genuinely moved.
Look at Haymitch.
Not where you were
Yes.
jealous
Thank
of her
you,
hairstyle or her-
Haymitch. Think back to all the moments she's ever had. When did she move the people?
So what you're suggesting is we toss her into combat.
I can't sanction putting an untrained civilian in battle.
I'll never be able to guarantee my safety.
And if you're killed?
Find a new Mockingjay heifer.
Make sure you get it on camera.
Exactly. She becomes a martyr. Plutarch is just a fan. Every time she does something sassy, he's like, yeah. I am you, Plutarch.
Plutarch wanted you to have a weapon for the sake of the propos, but I couldn't just make you a fashion accessory.
So I'm guessing Beatty lost his ability to walk after being electrocuted by the force field. So if we could put him in a wheelchair, we couldn't make PETA an amputee and give him the prosthetic. I hate when they do that. It's like they feel like they're not attractive enough to be a love interest.
Fire the red ones in here.
Oh shoot. I don't want to say that's why they didn't go through with the PETA losing his leg post the first Hunger Games, but it's like usually that's what it is. It's like they're become like people with disabilities are somehow less attractive to, or they're not good enough to be the love interest to your main character, or good enough to be a main character. It annoys me. They should have kept that detail in. Like, you're okay with putting Beatty in a wheelchair. Why not PETA giving him a prosthetic? It's not like he would have to act with it 24/7. Oh my god, are those dead bodies? Shit.
We have a mass grave a few blocks west, but I can't spare the manpower to move them yet.
The smell must be lethal.
Don't film me in there. I can't help them. Just let them see your face.
You know when you understand the purpose of something, but you kind of low-key hate it? I kind of low-key hate this. The scriptedness of it all. Even though it's to encourage a genuine reaction to her. It's to... the use is propaganda. Like, I completely understand that all sides, no matter what you're backing or supporting, you need to get your message out there, and it needs to be strategic in order to rally the masses. But at the same time, there is something so not disingenuous, but even though her reaction is real, it's still scripted in some way, shape, or form. Like, she's purposely going here to get a moment.
Makeshift hospital. We're not sure if she's still there.
Probably gonna try and do something to her.
Kill the wounded.
Sir.
Show them what it costs to be friends with Katniss Everdeen.
Interesting choice. Not to try to kill her. I guess he doesn't want to risk martyring her.
Straight ahead and down the stairs.
Oh.
Katniss!
Is she going towards the shooting? Miss Ma'am! Oh. Miss Ma'am. Oh my god. Oh, no. See, I get you've been through the Hunger Games twice, but this feels like actual warfare. Maybe we should back it up. I mean, oh my god. Did they just kill over that? Oh god. This feels too real. This shit just got real. Put me back in the games. Oh god! How did the Hunger Games feel less dangerous? I mean, technically, it probably would be less dangerous than this. Oh god!
It's the hospital. They're targeting the hospital.
Ain't that like a war crime? We don't target hospitals. I can think of a certain president who loved to do that. Do these cameras, do the arrows go far enough? I get they have bombs on them, but oh, okay. Did it still hit? Oh shit! Is that the hospital?
Katniss, can you tell everyone what you're seeing right now?
Miss Ma'am! Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Y'all making me hate this rebellion so fast. It's only been one movie and I hate it. I get the necessity of it, but I hate it. It's so scripted.
If you torture us and bomb us and burn our districts to the ground. But do you see that? Fire is catching. And if we burn, you burn with us.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Jennifer Lawrence just ripped my heart out. Oh man. What a line. Fire's catching. Whew.
By order of President Snow, daily production quotas have been increased.
What? If they use up all their time at work, they won't be able to like riot or something? But increasing their quotas are just gonna... You would want to like give them a day off or something. Like, do not... Oh. Oh shit! Oh my goodness! Oh my god, I didn't... Oh wow, they climb fast. I don't get it. Where are y'all going? Did they mark the trees with the Mockingjay symbols and they're climbing towards something? Oh my god. Oh, okay, so there were bombs underground. Okay. Okay. And they just went up for safety. And I guess the guys who were at the back, they must have known they were gonna die. They oh my goodness.
That's what we all find most astonishing.
They got PETA up there again. PETA, stop doing interviews. I mean, I get he doesn't have a choice.
PETA, it must be particularly painful.
Did he have him hold the rose?
Saying things that she doesn't even understand.
Oh, goodness. His dark circles.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Even his voice is different.
Using it.
She knows everything about this man.
I would tell her to think for herself.
He looks skinnier.
Yes.
Good makeup to hollow his face.
Everyone has a choice. How can he sit there in the Capitol and defend the people who destroyed his home and murdered his family?
Oh.
Nobody's seen what the Capitol did to 12.
Okay, fair point. They need to do something and get PETA out of there because... I mean, we just came off of a scene of all those people who were like wood choppers who stood in the back row knowing they're going to get gunned down, and yet they still did it so the people in front can make their way towards the where they had the bombs, like lead them into the mine. So they sacrificed themselves. So I see what Gale's saying, like you all have a choice. And you know, when people say, oh, when they put a gun to your head you don't have a choice, you do. Death is in fact a choice. You can say it's not, and it's not for most people, but it most definitely is a choice that you can make. And those people at the back of the line did. They were willing to die so the people in front can get further. So I can see what Gale is saying in the sense that I'd choose death before saying what they're saying. But I do think it's unfair to judge PETA when we don't know what they're threatening him with. He's so isolated there. He doesn't know what's real or true. Let me focus in on this.
Me and a couple of guys from the mines, we started pulling people from their houses and trying to get them to the fence line, but a lot of people were scared of the forest.
Yikes. That trained fear. It's like black people in water, not knowing how to swim.
915 of us made it to the fence. Bombers circled back towards the road, firebombed them as they ran away.
So that was where we saw those bodies. That's what it was from.
915 out of 10,000. Some of the kids I could have carried.
You saved so many people, Gale.
Doesn't matter how many he saved. All you think of are the people you couldn't save.
This is where you kiss me.
I didn't think you remembered that.
I knew you'd do that. Because I'm in pain. Don't worry, Katniss. It'll pass.
That realization that the woman you love does not love you back. He's 18. You have your first loves and then you can get the hell over it. This song remind me of Strange Fruit. Why are we coming to a tree where people are strung up? This man's like, I was smiling and now I'm depressed.
Every district seeing this?
Yes, but not the capital. But I can't find my way through it. Guess I did my job too well.
Oh, shit. Oh, never thought I'd have to be breaking into it. What's going on? What are we holding? Are those weapons in there? What is this? A city? Oh, is it a dam? Like a water system to... Oh my god, no. Oh my goodness. Shit, they're just running straight into the fire. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh my... Wow. Oh my god. So whoever drops, you just pick it. What is it? What are they trying to get in? Are they bombs? Are they trying to blow the wall? Oh my god, what? That was, they just ran straight to the bullets and the people carrying them and their bodies washed away. Oh wow. I wonder if they clear their bridge in time. What a scene. What a scene of valor and desperation. Wow. I guess this is how Beatty's gonna get into this. Oh. This was his way to get in? Yeah, I figured. This was a way for him to get in. All those lives sacrificed. I wonder if they get in, they can find out what's happening to Peeta, Joanna, and Annie.
Coming, Katniss. They're gonna kill everyone. And in District 13, you'll be dead by morning!
Oh my god.
He's warning us. That was a warning.
I wonder what they were holding. Well, if he knows she's in District 13, and now the people are gonna know District 13 still exists. They're gonna know! They're gonna know! He just still let the world know that District 13 is still kicking. Unless they turned when they started to chip into the feed, they clicked it off. But no, Beetee was controlling it. Where's Prim? Primrose, where you at, girl? Primrose! This ain't no game. We got code red, Prim. Where you at? So if they know that she's in District 13, then I guess they were probably holding that over Peeta's head.
Where's Prim? I thought she went to find Gale.
Mom! Mom, you're useless! Okay, I don't mean to call you useless, but what the...
She went back for the cat.
This frickin' Buttercup. And they're two people. Oh, Gale, did you go with her? Did you enable this foolishness? Or maybe he just knew she was gonna go back for Buttercup. Oh, like just how you couldn't leave little Buttercup behind. Yeah, let's keep going down. Plutarch looked like he about to shit himself. Oh man.
Our surface-to-air launchers just took a direct hit in Sector 3.
Did Gale's family survive the attack on District 12? Because where his family at? I keep hearing that he has brothers. Where they at? Are they dead? It's like he knew to go back for Katniss's sister, but where your kids at? Your brothers at?
Promoted me at the hospital. Oh, I forgot to tell you. They're training me to be a doctor.
Oh, look at you. We got a doctor in the family. I mean, what did Katniss end up doing with her life? At least Primrose went and got a degree. What do I think? You know everything and you got your bleeping degree? Sorry, that was random. Why do you look like you're zoning out? Katniss, you good, girl? You look a little...
Snow's using Annie to punish you. He's taunting us with them.
Yeah, that white rose he was having...
I didn't understand until just now, watching that stupid cat.
After your first games, I thought the whole romance was an act.
I think it was on Katniss's end.
Peeta's heart stopped and misjudged you.
I think she probably fell in love with him on the tour. I'm not saying that there weren't feelings there, but I feel like she fell in love with him.
You should know something. We had 8 extra minutes of civilian evacuation because of Peeta's warning.
Mm-hmm.
I won't forget that. Thank you.
Hopefully that will buy him some goodwill with District 13. Because I don't know how long we got to stay here. And if we somehow get Peeta back and he got to live under here, child, Peeta's going to have to be held captive again. Like, they're going to have to quarantine him in an area. Did you drop a shit ton of white roses alongside bombs? You bitch.
Tell Snow 13 is alive and well.
It's gonna kill Peeta.
Let's try again. Can you speak up? You don't have a mic.
Oh my goodness.
He's gonna kill Peeta.
Katniss don't give two shits about y'all. When will y'all learn? If y'all keep Peeta safe and get him back, you would probably get a more cooperative Katniss. We need to get Peeta. Oh,
No, he warned me. He warned me about this.
Okay, bitch.
He's doing this because I'm the Mockingjay.
No shit.
He's punishing Peeta to punish me.
Okay.
Katniss.
Don't make me do this.
Let her go.
I feel like it took us a while to get to that revelation, girl.
You're just gonna hide down here forever.
I want more Haymitch in this movie.
I can't be the Mockingjay.
Not the Mockingjay. Just Katniss.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only real friend I have down.
Hey, don't forget Effie. Y'all, you, Effie, Peeta, you guys are like a little foursome.
They're rescuing Peeta.
Okay. What? They should have.
The dam went down in District 5, took out most of the power to the Capitol, knocked out their signal
Okay,
defense.
I kind of had a feeling they would be able to. I was kind of thinking they may be able to figure out something to do for Peter, like find out what's happening to Peter if they knocked out the power. No, this is something you should not be involved in.
Victor is considered desirable.
Mockingjay 1.
I'm sorry, did he just mean what I say? What did that mean? What did that mean when he said if you're desirable, he'll let people buy? What? I'm going to pretend I just read too much into that. I'm going to leave that one alone for now.
Patrons would make presents of money or jewelry, but I found a much more valuable.
Am I getting this right? Did they do what I think they did to Finnick? Because he was handsome? Is that what he meant by desirable and spend time? This is some sick shit. Is that what he mean? Oh my god. I'm just reading. I'm gonna err on the side of I'm reading too much into this. I'm seeing things or I'm hearing things that weren't said. And I'm misinterpreting what that means. The President Snow did not have Finnick do that. At least I hope he didn't. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past the man, but damn. He of regicide. I mean, technically that's a king. But still, you get what I mean. Ooh, I love this silence. Gale, are you trained for this? That's how I keep thinking. This seems like you need training to do all this.
Help cover the scent of blood from sores in his mouth that will never heal.
Oh, I thought the man was dying. I thought it was a medical. Oh, sir, you've been drinking so much poison that. What is all this? Are these torture instruments?
What is this place?
Oh, is that a flashbang? Oh, they know you're here. We gotta leave. Oh God, wait, grab Peeta and Joanna and Annie. Grab them and leave.
If Snow's watching this, maybe he'll let the signal in if he sees me. Put me on the air so he can see me.
Yes.
Big brain, Katniss, big brain. Thank you. I felt like she's a bit passive this movie. Which makes sense. She's given everything.
President Snow, it's Katniss. There's no guarantee he's even watching.
Oh, he's
watching. President Snow, it's...
What an honor.
Oh, okay.
I never asked for this. Just wanted to save my sister and keep Peeta alive.
I told you what a fragile thing peace was. You took pleasure in breaking it.
Pleasure? Sir, she took no pleasure from this. None.
It's...
What is with that creepy smile?
Don't you think I know your friends are in the tribute center?
Well, yeah. Oh shit. What did I do moment when they killed the guy and he held her? Oh shit.
There's no news.
I can't get a read on you.
I'm sorry.
I just know you have strange eyes.
Especially for people like us.
I want to know what her plan is, because if you revolution without a plan on what's supposed to happen next is a dumb idea.
Find it times like this.
What's the end game here? Because it can't just be about bringing down the old system. Something new has to take its place. We need to be. What's your tax plan, lady? Like, what is your plans after? We're so dead set on tearing down the system that no one's focused on what comes next. And I'm pretty sure she has an idea of what comes next. And considering she runs a military please do not create a nation state, ma'am, like a militarized zone, considering the fact that she runs this place very military oriented. I'm terrified for what the hell Coin's got going on. Watch us destroy everything in this movie, and then in the next movie, she ends up being the villain. Good, he looks emaciated from the back. Where's Effie? We need all four of them together. Oh god, the bruising on his neck. Jesus, they really were putting this poor boy through hell. Jeez, the bruising on him. Peeta! Oh god, they put Peeta through hell. Why are you looking at her like that? Oh God, is he gonna blame her? Shit. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh my God. What are you doing, Peeta? Holy, hey bitch. Oh my shit. Peeta. What will they do to him? Oh my God. Why can't we restrain what a emaciated boy? Oh, that's right. He had that flower over the shoulder strength. Hey man, she's killing him. Thank God for Boggs. Holy shit, Peeta. Oh my God. Return to sender. We gotta take him back because Peeta's our I guess Peeta, that's why they let it. Oh God, they had to put the girl in a neck brace. Oh shit, I'm there wondering why can't we restrain what a emaciated looking child? But I remember this man used to throw flowers over his back and he's apparently super.
No, Katniss. No, you're swollen. Don't touch me.
Oh my God.
Calm down.
How much shit does she have to go through?
It's called hijacking.
Hijacking?
We don't know
his
how long
sanity?
the
Did we hijack Peeta's sanity?
It's fear conditioning, enhanced with tracker jacker venom.
Oh, that stuff that damn near kill us.
Torture him.
Shit.
With shocks and beatings and
Jesus.
strip down his identity. And then all of that suffering and fear is redirected.
Oh, Plutarch.
But we've put together a team.
He's like, hold on, we're gonna fix this. Okay.
The fruits of their labors and not fight one another for scraps.
Okay, let's get specific. What does that look like? I'm not here for the platitudes and the broad stroke generalizations of what we want. Let's get realistic. What does this look like? I want to know your tax plan. I want to know. Give me numbers, lady. What is this new Panem?
Today is our new beginning.
Okay, this doesn't look creepy.
We have freed the victors.
I don't feel like Shirley freed them so she can use them like this. I don't trust you. There's something very, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Oh my God, Peeta. Why aren't we sedating him? Why let him go through this? Maybe they have to keep him awake? This feels cruel. Why not just sedate him and only keep him awake for when you need? What is this movie? Oh God, it's so good, but it hurts so bad. It hurts. Did he take his life from marble? Okay, no, sorry, that was inappropriate. No, sorry. So Philip Seymour Hoffman, because I'm pretty sure, if I recall, he decided to leave this world of his own accord, right? So it was, I guess, after filming, or maybe during film. Oh my goodness. So this was the last thing he worked on? Oh, well, this just got even... Yeah. Great movie. Just, oh, that just soured everything now. Okay, so that was the Mockingjay Part 1, and I wanted to take a moment to look up the cause of death in regards to Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was ruled an accidental overdose. I initially thought, while I was like in the media, I thought I can't recall who I might have been thinking of who did unfortunately leave this world of their own accord, but apparently his death was ruled an accidental overdose, no less unfortunate or sad or tragic. I also read that did they film Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 together and then they decided to split it up? Because I read that he did get the opportunity to film the majority of his scenes in Part 2, but he did not get a chance to complete the movie. Either way, no matter the cause of death, it is still painful my heart goes out not only to him but to his loved ones. Oh goodness, this movie, let me first say this: excellent, This is an excellent movie. I have no qualms with that. What I wanted to get into is just the nature of the propaganda and selling her as this face of the revolution. While I'm watching it, you can probably see that there's something so uncomfortable in the inauthenticity of it. It's just... you understand the necessity of things like that. You need to be able to touch the people, and it's like, even though they're going for genuine reactions, it's still some way scripted, because that is the intention. You're specifically putting her in a room of all these people who did unfortunately then lose their lives, but these people who've just been through something horrible or awful, and you're doing it on purpose to curry a reaction from her. That way you can record it. It just feels a bit, I don't want to say predatory towards these people in that moment, but you understand the necessity of it, because this is how you maintain the fire. This is how you nurture it. You can't lose it. It's for the greater good. And man, oh man, I am always so iffy about words like greater good, because you start justifying certain, not to say immoral, but things that are questionably unethical. Like there could be an ethical debate, but as long as it's for the greater good, you can justify these actions or these extremes. So that's what it always felt like during those propaganda scenes. I didn't necessarily like them, but I understand why it's necessary. I understand wanting to make sure you stay in touch, because they isolated districts, they can't communicate with each other, so you need to maintain, like they said, it's, I think it was Plutarch's character, or was it Haymitch who spoke about, I think to Coin, that it's so hard to maintain that fire. You don't want it to blaze out of control where you yourself can't get a hold of it, but you don't want to accidentally smother it either. Doesn't take much to, like, it. Have you ever tried to start a fire? I have. I mean, I grill at least once a month, like on charcoal fire. I've had to start fires during hurricanes, because years ago when I was in middle school, when we lost power for 2 weeks and all of our neighbors had to come together and we had to boil water and pass it on to it. It was a whole thing. But I remember having to go outside and start a fire because they couldn't get any supplies into. It was bad. I think, what year was that? I forgot. I was in middle school. I was like maybe 13 or 12 at the time. Awful time. Awful 2 weeks without power. Jeez. Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent. But yes, fire is, it's so difficult. Like, it can blaze out of control so easily. Doesn't take much. But then it can also, it's amazing how easy a fire can die and how hard it is to put out to like control it. So I get the need for these propos that they're doing, but it doesn't erase the icky factor to it. Like, if you get what I'm saying. And I think the reason why I can feel comfortable with it, because I know it can easily used for something like propaganda. There's always going to be a negative connotation with the word propaganda. Because there's an inherent manipulation factor in it. And no one wants to be manipulated. No one likes the feeling of being manipulated. And there's always this idea behind the act of manipulation that is it's dishonesty, essentially. That's the shtick of it. But listen, have I had to manipulate? Like, I'm not necessarily against it, like coercion, because let's just say someone needs to take their meds and they are unfortunately elderly and they're not of sound mind. You gotta like coerce them into taking the medication that they need without making them feel stressed. So it is quite frankly manipulation. You're manipulating a person to take a medication gently. Like, you don't want to upset them. Like, you're coercing them into doing something that is good for them. But God, that even sounds wrong as you're saying it. Like like, you know, my grandmother, she's has dementia, and so, you know, you don't want to stress them out. So it's like you're manipulating her into taking the meds and saying it's this, and when it's really not that, but you know she has to take it because, yeah. So anyways, that's the danger of the coercive nature of these propos. It's for the greater good, but it's such a blanket statement that it could go so wrong, and I don't know how I feel about Coin. I hate when I understand the purpose of not losing the people, so you speak in generalities that will fire something up in them. Like I said, I want to know your tax plan. I want to know how she plans on changing things. Like, you can't just destroy a system, my dear. You need to have a plan in place, and so easily, too easily, it's so there. I hate to bring this into this, but there's my favorite anime of all time is called Rurouni Kenshin. I watched it as a child. And there was a line in there by a character who works in politics, and he says, you know, it's far easier to destroy an old era than it is to bring about a new one. So unfortunately, so much corruption gets involved in creating the new era. So many people want little ins that they never had before because these people have been disenfranchised, they've been powerless, and now they have it. And that can so easily spiral out of control. And more often than not, certain practices in the previous era that motivated you to tear it down in the first place can rise again. And there's a reason why these things maintain. People like the power. It doesn't, just because you're on the other side of it doesn't erase the fact that you can be just as susceptible to the same thing you were fighting against. And that's why I'm so iffy about Coin. I need to know what she plans on doing when she's in power. Like, I mean, she calls herself President Coin. Like, President. I mean, we have President Snow, we have President Coin. I'm like, there's something I'm not liking about this. You both are scripted to look very evil. The haircut, the eyes, and then him with his mustache twirling. Like, y'all both seem like very evil people. So I'm keeping my eye on Coin. I feel less weary of Plutarch. Yeah, I feel less weary of Plutarch than I do of Coin. But yes, I got my eye on her. Now, as for PETA, so they were torturing him. I'm guessing they also used starvation tactics, because every time we saw him, he looked more and more hollowed and great by the makeup. Hats off to the makeup department. They did very well in like hollowing out his cheeks and sharpening his chin to make it look like his bones were protruding more. Excellent. You definitely saw the change in him, as well as excellent acting from, I believe it's Josh Hutcherson, I believe his name was. I once called him Josh Hart. My bad. That's someone completely different. But yes, you can see the subtle changes every time, and you can tell it is love, because Katniss was able to clock everything, every change in that boy. She was on it, like whispering to herself, his voice sounds different, he looks a bit thinner. Well, I don't think she commented on his weight, but she did note that in his eyes, his voice, you can just see the physical reaction she was having to seeing the changes in his body every time she was looking up. Oh, it's love. And I will say, I do think Katniss, I think she developed feelings for him in the first games. I do maintain, I mean, unless there was something else placed in the books, but I do maintain the theory that everyone's in love in a foxhole. I think PETA went into the games definitely crushing on her. There were feelings there, absolutely, on his end. For her, I don't think so. I feel like what they went through together, not only did that create a trauma bond of some way, but she did develop feelings, because people can be susceptible in those high intense moments. You tend to latch on, and then once that bond happens, it's easier for feelings to sort of pass through, especially when you are selling this love story and the person you are involved on the other end does have genuine feelings for you. So I do think it was the whole everyone's in love in a foxhole scenario. Like, essentially, what that saying means is a foxhole is like, think of it like the trenches. You're waiting it out as bombs are being dropped, as gunfire is going, as war is happening. You're in a foxhole and you're waiting it out. And while you're in this close space and physical proximity, you can smell that person, you can touch them, there's physical contact, and you're both terrified. You can develop a bond in that moment that only you in that foxhole will know. It's singular to you, and that can be deeply intimate to share that kind of experience with another person. And then on top of that, you're selling a love story and you're kissing. And so I definitely feel like Katniss's feelings were born in the trauma of that. However, I do think she fell in love and got to know him in the aftermath of the games. During the tour is where I would say Katniss fell in love. Now, this is just based off the movies. I don't know the context of the books or how she felt or her inner dialogue prior to the games. I'm not privy to that, but just based off of watching, I would say she fell in love with him during the tour, sleeping with him, finding comfort in him, that security blanket. That could be an aspect of bonding in your trauma as well. I do hope, as long as Katniss, I hope Katniss does not become a martyr, end up losing her life. But if there is an aftermath for them, I do hope they heal first. I think they're important in each other's healing. And I say this hoping Katniss lives. I feel like Katniss's life is more in danger than Peeta. Like, I feel like Peeta, not necessarily, yes, Peeta is a threat to her life, but I feel like Katniss means so much to the greater narrative that I feel like she's in a unique position where I feel like her character is more likely to die at the end of this. If she does, if one of them can't survive, I feel like Katniss is the one who might take that hit. But I hope they have a moment to heal first. Like, step away and heal, and then kind of fall in love, not in a healthy manner, because there's no such thing as healthy in all this. Like, no, everyone's traumatized. Like, hold on to the ones that you have. But I hope there's a moment for healing for them. Now, Gale. I'm happy that he had a moment to recognize and acknowledge the fact that Katniss does not feel the same way that he does. And he kind of says to himself, this will pass. She's in love with someone. It hurts. Like, I can imagine, on top of everything, understanding that the woman you love does not love you and she's in love with someone else. That is a lot to handle, especially in this microcosm of a revolution, as well as everything he's holding in the destruction of District 12. I don't know if his family survived. The movie didn't mention it, how the movie didn't really mention much about his siblings. I think there was just that one line or two lines in regards, like a nod to his family. I don't even know if they were casted. Either way, it's a lot. But I do like that moment where he says, and he gives himself that space where it'll pass. Like, it's like he's letting her know, I will move on. And it's like letting himself know, give him like he's giving him this space to feel pain. Rejection is painful, people. It hurts to be rejected. It is not a fun feeling. But like he says, it'll pass. You just have to give it time. So I do enjoy that. I did like that the story gave him that moment to say, this will pass. He's 18. It's probably his first love. Jeez. He's 18 and having, like, most kids are like figuring out how to get into college at this point, or how they're going to pay for it. Not most kids. Most kids who are in a far more fortunate situation to worry about that, because there are people in this world who are 18 worrying about the world. Like a greater, like I said, when I say they have the world on their shoulders, because not everyone's fortunate enough to be born in certain areas of the world where they don't have to like actually worry about a war going on outside their window. But in this case, 18-year-olds like myself, well, I'm not 18, but when I was 18, you're thinking about college and student loans and cars and all of that. Like, yeah, it's a lot that this character's going through. And I feel like Gale, I do think he gets hated. I have not seen Gale do anything that warrants the level of hate he gets. Like, okay, maybe that PETA scene where he called him a coward. I can understand why people would hate him, but I do feel like him volunteering and risking his life to get PETA, I don't think that was some kind of jab at like Katniss, like, oh, if I die or something. Like, I don't think that was it. I feel like that was him trying to understand that PETA's going through it. He's going through a lot. And this is my way of sort of making up for calling him a coward. Like, he did try to warn them as well. Like, clearly he's doing this against his will. And he did imagine that. He was the first one to say it, that this is not something, like, maybe they're threatening him. And I do understand here's the thing. He's saying he's doing this for himself. Like, oh, he's only saying this to protect himself or stay alive. Like, this is what this has to be. At this point, the rhetoric you're speaking and trying to sway the people and kill this revolution and working on their behalf, like, for Gale, who went through everything in District 12, that I feel like that has to do with a lot of it. Yes, it could also be his feelings for Katniss, but I do think it has a lot to do with the fact that I watched thousands of people get killed. And you are choosing to help. And I feel like he's saying you're choosing. He's not really... He says everybody has a choice. And yes, that is very true. Everyone does have a choice. Like, there's this saying, if it's between choosing to do something or your life, it's not really a choice. But ew, it kind of is a choice, though. And the movie did show that. They showed people choosing death then for the greater good. Like, those men in the woods, when they're running, they had to know that the closest people to those peacekeepers were going to be the first ones to die. And they use their bodies as shields so they can go further. Those people on the bridge knew that we were going to die. We're on there. There's no escaping death when you're running into a bullet. You're going to die out there. And even if they didn't die from the bullet, they just collapsed, they're going to drown. They did this knowingly. And that imagery of them picking up the bombs, like, if you fall, pick it up and keep running. Pick it up and keep running. Like, oh my goodness. There's no word. I can't find the word to describe that other than it's chilling. Chilling is the only word I can think of. So you're seeing these two instances, and you're also hearing Gale recall the bombing of District 12. I can understand the thought process of demonizing PETA in this moment. But I also understand the flip side. I see both sayings. That saying of, if it's between your loved one or death, you choose death. Like, you're going to choose, like, I forgot how the saying goes. Like, if the choice is life or death, then there is no choice, I believe the saying is. Like, if death is on the other side of this, you're not choosing it. But the movie showed the stakes. The movie showed that there are people out there choosing death instead of life. But then it's also speculated that PETA doesn't actually know that District 12 was bombed, and that they're holding Katniss's life over his head. And the knowledge of where she is, we don't actually know what was being fed, what information he was privy to, what information he was not privy to. We just know he was tortured, most likely starved, beaten, shocked. They put the boy through hell. So it's a tricky situation. Not everyone, I feel like Gale doesn't have all the information. PETA clearly does not have all the information. No one's working with a full deck of cards while they're making these judgment calls. But I do see Gale's perspective when I say this I'm playing devil's advocate. I know, bad Gale, evil Gale for calling PETA coward after everything we know PETA's gone through now. But I do feel like Gale, I can understand the emotions behind calling him a coward. And I do think, do I think there was any, like, wanting to diminish PETA in Katniss's eyes? I feel like he could have done that before. Like the first time it happened. Like the first time PETA, when they were in the lunch room or whatever you call it, the canteen area, and then they go back into the room and they're talking about it, he defends PETA and he puts it out there like he's probably being forced. So it's not that he's without the knowledge that PETA's not doing this of his own volition. But I feel like Gale seeing everything, all of these people, all of the sacrifices, knowing that people in the districts are willingly choosing to die for the greater good, I feel like it's an emotional response. But I do believe he goes in to rescue PETA at the end there because of the District 13 thing that he does when PETA says they're coming for you, as well as him like apologizing for demonizing PETA. Like he's willing to risk his life to help PETA. Like, I feel like he does put his money where his mouth is in a lot of cases. Gale's not perfect. None of these characters are. But, like, I feel like because of the love triangle, Gale gets the short end of the stick, which is why I wish they just positioned him as, like, a big brother figure and just rooted out the love interest aspect. That way you can see Gale's character clearly without the love triangle nonsense. I feel like it diminishes his point of view in radicalizing teenagers who are forced to do hard labor, exploitive levels of hard labor. That's just how I felt. I spoke about it in the beginning and I'm speaking on it again, given what he said, because I can understand how that moment, him calling PETA a coward, can definitely make people hate Gale. Even though if you take a moment to like see everything Gale's gone through in terms of everything he's experienced coming out of the District 12 bombings, as well as everything he's seeing happening, everything he knows is happening. He has, like I said, no one has the benefit of working with a full deck of cards. He doesn't know everything PETA's going through. Hell, we as the audience don't know everything PETA's gone through in the Capitol. We haven't seen it. We didn't experience. We only heard about it after it was said and done. We've seen the aftermath, but we don't actually live in it. Neither does the character of Gale. Gale doesn't know what PETA went through, just like we don't know what PETA went through while it's happening. So it's like information. I always say it's the power. Information is power. The more information you have, the better you are at making a judgment call or keeping perspective. The less information you have, the less likely you're capable of putting everything in perspective. But once you learn that knowledge, once you gain it, it's all about how you respond after. And I feel like Gale responded the right way, and he volunteers to help PETA. So yeah, I still don't hate Gale now. I don't hate him after this movie either. Didn't hate him after the first Hunger Games. Didn't hate him after Catching Fire. Still don't hate him yet. That's just me. I'm not afraid of playing the whole devil's advocate role. Anyways, this was an excellent movie. Katniss, I feel like, was a bit one-track minded in this movie, and that was the whole PETA aspect. Hopefully we see her scope broaden a bit. Sorry. As the movie continues in part 2, I hope we see a bit more. I understand her lack of investment in the revolution. I feel like she becomes the Mockingjay in exchange. Well, she doesn't. I don't feel like it. She says it. In exchange for PETA and Annie and Joanna. I would like to see Katniss have a bit more connection to the cause. But I also understand she's the reluctant hero in this. So it would feel a bit disingenuous. And when I say connection, I don't mean those, oh my God, someone lost a leg, they're right in front of me connection. Like it's going, like when something's in front of you like that, it's going to draw out an emotional response. Like putting them in front of a green screen, unless you're an actual actor. Haha, get it? Because Jennifer Lawrence is probably in front of a green screen acting a lot of this. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. Unless you're an actual actor, then yeah, you may not get that emotion that you're looking to curry in that moment. So putting her in front of someone who's bleeding out and dying, yeah, you'll probably get an actual reaction out of her there. But I like I said, I would want more from Katniss than just PETA. and the momentary someone's dying in front of me and I care, I would want her to have more connection to the cause that she's now the face of. But I also understand that that would be disingenuous to her character, given the fact that, like she says, she never asked for any of this. She didn't ask to be the people's hero. She didn't have that intention. So it's a strange feeling where you understand, like, you come to love this character because of it, but at the same time I'm a bit frustrated with her mindset coming into this movie. It just felt like PETA one-minded, PETA, and I guess that's the love story of it all. And I honestly, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said the love story was the best part of this movie. It's not for me. That's just me. Like, okay, love story, woohoo. Everything else I'm a bit more entranced with. So I guess that's why Katniss, I can understand. If you are a shipper of PETA and Katniss, this movie would be glorious in confirming Katniss's feelings for PETA, because PETA's feelings have been established, but now you want more from Katniss, and I would completely understand that this movie is your bread and butter for that. Like, it confirms Katniss's feelings 1000. It's like on OD. But if the love story isn't really your bread and butter and it's kind of like tertiary for you, her one-track mindedness towards PETA can come off a bit silly in some aspects, but you always have to give that grace because this is a YA novel, that book adaptation. So it's like, you know, you can't fault the movie for focusing on something that it did present itself as. It's like you're mad at something for being bread even though you ordered bread. Like, how are you going to be mad at the server for giving you bread when you ordered bread? That's what I feel like me saying I want Katniss to have a greater scope. This is a YA novel and it's a love story and whatever. So for me, like, I found myself emotionally moved more in the peripheral events than I did the actual love story. Like, it's just kind of tertiary for me. So Katniss being so in on PETA kind of dampened her involvement in this movie for me. I feel like she was kind of there. Unfortunately, that's how I felt about it. I'm so sorry. The one moment that really gripped me was her catching fire speech. That was excellent. Brought me to tears. Jennifer Lawrence, I feel like that was her strongest. Well, no, not her, strongest moment in this movie. I do feel like her reaction towards PETA in that ending scene. Oh my goodness, honey. Josh Hutcherson and Jennifer Lawrence, they acted the shit out of that attack scene. And then the aftermath when she's seeing him oh my goodness. Like, act, honey. They earned every cent that they made off this movie. They did a phenomenal job acting. I just want more for Katniss. But I asked for bread and I'm bitching that I got bread. So it's like, let me stop. I think Katniss, I'm like I said, I'm superimposing something that the story did not sell itself as. Like, it's a YA novel, work in the scope of that, and bitching that it doesn't give you more feels silly. Like, I feel like when people criticize YA novels for being a YA novel is so stupid. And I feel like I'm engaging in the stupidity I criticize. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, go ahead and give the video a like. It helps get the video out there and it grows the channel. And go ahead and tell me what you thought of the movie down below. I love reading your comments. Please give me little tidbits that the movie didn't include, and I can understand why the movie wouldn't include it. It's so much to pack in, hence why it's called part 1, part 2. I wonder if they split the books up. Was it a 4-book series or a 3-book series? And the last book was so intense that they had to split it up into 2 movies. I'm talking a lot, but yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all for the next part 2. Take care. And a special thanks to the patrons: Kyle, Now, Midgie, Maya, Jenny, Katie, Tawny, See-Through Battle Monsters, Terrence, Simone, Sarah, Tyler, Juan, Beto, Ash, Jordan, Jennifer, Nicole, Freddie, Hall of Fame LeBron, Marcella, Gabrielle, Alicia, and Carmdall. Thank you all so much.